I've got the motor stripped down here. I took all the alternator and some of this stuff off. Looks real small now. So I was missing some couple manifold bolts. I ordered a whole set of stainless bolts for this thing, and these valve covers, I don't know what to do about them. They were probably new a long time ago before they set out in the water. But anyway, I'm going to yank off this the valve covers and the manifold, and we'll see what we got inside the motor here. Well, looks like about half of these push rods are rusty. 2 or 3 of them here. I've got some rust sitting there on the head bolt. Both of these head bolts. Springs don't look too bad. This side looks worse than the other. Pretty nasty looking. They don't have a light over here. Guess I could plug this one in. Turn it on. There we go. Got a lot of oil in it, of course, but that's from the, see some of that water combined stuff. Probably should have cleaned this all out before I painted it. So I'm not going to just hit it with air right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull these rocker arms off. And I'll try to physically wipe all the stuff out of here, but I'm gonna have to go through them rocker arms and make sure they're all clean, clean up all these push rods, clean up this head. Yeah, I should have done this before I painted it. Well, let me yank the rocker arms off and see what I got then. Well, I had enough silicone in here for 3 or 4 motors. I finally got it loose. Looks like there's some rust right on top of the lifters. The camshaft's got a little bit of rust back in there. But the cam looks pretty good, actually. Looks like there was some water set in this lifter valley, but it didn't really look like it was. Well, this one here don't look too good. One lifter there don't, but it looks like it was up, so the rust really didn't affect it too much. These others have a little rust right on the edge of the lifter. And of course, you can see some glarp and stuff in there. I blew this one out real good. I got all of the dirt and everything out of it. Caught it with rags. These push rods here, the back ones are rusted all the way, top to bottom. Don't know what the end is going to look like. Yeah, the end ain't too bad. Anyway, don't see nothing down inside the exhaust ports. It's kind of hard to see with the camera and the light at the same time. There's some rust down in there, but I don't see the valves rusted. I think we were good there. I think this is the majority of our rust damage. Right in this area. Yeah, these intake runners look fine. I don't know if they ever started this or not. Really can't tell. If they did, they didn't run it very long. But that's not definitely not a new camshaft. So the stories about this being rebuilt, not true at all. But it does look like a fairly low mile motor. Well, I got a lot of wire brushing clean up and gasket scraping and blah blah. I was thinking that little tiny place right there I need to paint. Looks like it got a lot more than that. So I got all this water pump and fuel pump and all that stuff off of here. I didn't get any gaskets for this water pump and timing cover, so I don't really feel like pulling that off. I will pull these pulleys off here so I can paint them, but I'm gonna clean this all up and check my lifters. I'm gonna start with those two right there because they're the ones that look like they had some rust on them. And see what we got from there. Well, this was surprising. Both of these lifters just pushed up with a finger. In fact, all of them are just pushing up. Doesn't look like there's any damage there at all. This one here might have got a little bit of rust. This one here don't look bad. So, in fact, every one of these are just pushing with a finger, no problem. Yep. So that's good. Looks like my Our lifters are all going to be good. Okay, yeah, that one there moves too. This one, yep. So that's good news. Like all my lifters are good. The water didn't really do any damage to any of that. I knew when I could see, I can push them down. You can see they compress, so they're dry. I really can't tell from this gasket what was going on from this gasket here. This white stuff is stuff from the water, aluminum oxide. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to be pretty good to go here. I'll just stick some more of these paper towels down in here. Try to soak up what I can. I can feel a little water, but mostly it's just old dirty oil. And wipe this out as best I can, and I'll spray some WD-40 in here. This will help clean it. I'll try to leave some rags in here to keep this stuff from getting down onto the camshaft. Where's my hole at? There it is. And I'll just blow all this stuff out best I can. This camshaft here got a little rust on it, but it looks like it's just surface rust. There's no rusting or pitting. I think this just got enough water in it to rust some stuff, not enough to really get in there bad and ruin the lifters or anything. So we'll blow this all out and see what it looks like. I blew all the junk. I finished this side here, and all the old oil and rust and stuff out of there, and I just now sprayed it with WD-40, which helps remove rust, any kind of water that might be left. And then I use a rag. You can see I got 3 or 4 of them down there on the floor. By the way, if you get a roll of this stuff, it's like $5 and saves you a lot of work. It's pretty good. And I took all my push rods and I took them over to the lathe. So that was a little bit of a job, but they're all cleaned up and oiled. You got 16 push rods. You got to do both ends, so it's 32. Take them out in changes. So now what I'll do is I'll just get a good rag here, and I'll get the rag at one side and I blow in the other side over here, so it's blowing all of the oil and dirt and shit into my rag. And I just keep doing that until I've got this all clean. I'll clean it up and show you what it looks like. Well, as you can see, it cleaned this up real good. There's a lot of rust and stuff came out, and I filled my the drive gear for the drive shaft and the intermediate shaft here. I plugged this all up with good rags. You can see how much oil and dirt this one caught, water. So this all looks pretty good. Now I'll have to go in here to my camshaft. This rag was just trying to keep some of the junk out, but a handful of rags is pretty cheap way to block all your rust and everything from going down in the motor. And I'm going to work on this camshaft a little bit. Same kind of deal. I'm just going to spray it good with WD-40 and blow it out, and then I'm going to rotate the motor over it, try to get any rust spots or anything out of that. And then I'm going to pull all the lifters and soak them in oil so they'll fill up, and put them back in the same hole. So, and of course WD-40 is not real cheap anymore. I used to buy it by the gallon. I still had about a half a gallon burn up in the shop, but you can see like this lifter right here, or cam right there. Yeah, it didn't really do much, but it'll wash all of the dirt and stuff off. Yeah. And I'll get some more of the dirt out. I must have 10 of these rags just, completely soaked. But it's taken all the dirt out. You can use cloth, of course. You can use anything you want. But these are pretty good. They don't really leave hair in your motor. Those little red mechanics rags and stuff, they kind of do. Looks like I still got a little bit of dirt in here. Little pieces of rust. But my lifters are real free. Just blowing them with the air down in there is moving them. I'll pull them up like this one and clean it off best I can. And of course I'll clean them when I take them out and fill them full of oil, and I'll run a rag down in each hole, and that'll help clean it some more. So I guess that's probably what I'll do now, is just take these lifters out and wipe them real good and fill them with oil. Well, I say that a lot. This is all done. Nice shiny new push rods in there. I turned this over real slowly. I got all of the rust out of off the cam. It was only really 2 lobes right here. I can still see a little bit in them, but they're away from the used part, or where it's been worn. I had a couple right in here, had a little bit of rust right there in the middle. But basically that's it. I got all this rust out of here. I got these all cleaned up. derusted. Blown everything out of here. This took most of the day for me, taking everything apart. But anyway, yeah, all the lifters look good. Push rods all turned out pretty decent. Nothing was bent. That's one good thing about putting them in the lathe. They were all perfectly straight. So my whole goal was to paint these two little places, so it looks like I got there. I'm gonna paint these manifolds. I've had some problems before cleaning up manifolds and then painting them and then putting the gasket on it, and they leak between the gasket and the paint. But what I did was take a 120 flapper wheel here just by hand, and I've cleaned this all up, gave it a nice sanded finish, so that should make my gasket stick. I just pull this cork guard off of here, and this should be good to go. I got a little rust back there on the camshaft gear. That's not too big of a deal. I can't really get a brush back in there, but I did get all of this, the camshaft itself, cleaned up. So I think the motor's fine. The bottom end's got new bearings. This top end all looks real good. So we should be good to go. There's Mr. Motor painted. I put the manifold on it, tried to put a little tape on it to protect the manifold. I'll have to clean it up, but I got the front real good. I got the side of the heads real good there, and because of where the manifold is, I won't get any paint down in my place where the gasket goes or where it seals. I got this back pretty good. And I basically went over the whole motor here. Looks real nice. So I didn't get a lot of paint on the where I didn't want it, and I'll just leave this manifold set here for now until this paint dries, and but I'll be ready to try to get in here whatever I can with a wire brush, clean it up. Too bad that somebody don't make some magic aluminum cleaner, but I'll be able to go around the edges here and take any paint off that I have. So this ought to look pretty good. This is Performer 318, 350, no idea. Dual plane, look like it's drilled for a quadrajet. I'll put a Holly and a spacer on it, or an Edelbrock. Anyway, this all looks pretty good. I still haven't got to my old dirty dampener pulley down there, or any of this stuff really. I got to go through my rocker arms there, clean them up, put them back on. I think what I'm going to try to do is take those old valve covers, and I think I'm going to just try to get the rust off of them and paint them. It'll look kind of bad with blue valve covers, or maybe I'll get some more. But you know, they want $100 just for cheap tin. I'd like to get the Mopar Performance black anodized ones, or you know, machined, ball milled, whatever. Anyway, the motor looks real good, and it's internally all finished. All I have left is the rocker arms. So that's a pretty good look for today. Like and subscribe, guys. Likes help the channel.